Hello, my name is Honks. I've been playing Caitlyn for way too long. I've been playing League for even longer, unfortunately. If you've been watching my content or see me, you'll pretty much know that I just upload shorts and games that are kind of educational. But I do want to be a little bit more direct. So I'm going to start with Caitlyn Fundamentals and kind of explain my decision making, kind of have a couple of fundamental ideas that I'm talking about, and I have that inspiration from Alloys. So let's get right into it. Right off the bat, I'm thinking about Caitlyn versus Ezreal, or Caitlyn Neeko versus Ezreal Nami, and the jungle matchup as well. The jungle matchup is important because it'll let me know kind of how aggressive I'm allowed to be, what they want to do. So Mundo is pretty much going to full clear at all times. If it was like a Jarvan, maybe I can expect like a level 2 or level 3 gank from his red side. But because it's Mundo, I can either expect him to path down to up or up to down. And then I'm just kind of creating sets of rules. And when I say rules, I mean I'm following a set of ideas to make the game easier for myself. I want to be as consistent as possible from game to game, so I'm making these rules for myself. And I want to keep it simple, right? So, for example, for Ezreal Nami, they have better sustain, right? Nami has healing, but we have range and we have better wave clear. So, with that being said, Caitlyn is going to be able to take prio anytime she wants, pretty much. And I'm just going to be focusing on keeping a small minion advantage, and I want to slow push as much as possible. Another rule I want to make is Nami, right? So, like, if Nami walks up, I'm walking back because of bubble threat. Even if Neeko lands a root, I can really only E or Q because if I walk up, Nami's going to bubble me. So I'm only ever if Nami walks up to me, I'm walking back, and if I'm walking up to Nami, she doesn't have her bubble, or I'm going to flash her bubble. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. I don't want to hear myself. Disgusting. I also want to be queuing on Neeko last hits. Or sorry, not Neeko last hits. On Neeko E's, if I can. Because that's pretty much going to be the most consistent factor in me landing Qs. Walking right into this, we want to take that lane prio. If we can. We also have to be wary of Ezreal Q. If we get prio like this, we like taking control of this bush right here, because we can kind of push them out the lane. Neeko's running away, which is not good, but I'm just going to run away with Neeko because I don't want to get Ezreal Q'd, and I also miss my Q. If we did take control, what I like to do on Caitlyn a lot of the time is if they don't see us, then I like to hide in this little pocket right here, and then my support's down in this bush, and then when they're walking the lane, obviously, they're going to be above the minions because they think that we're in the bush, and I'm sitting right here, and I Q them, and I can get a double Q a lot of the time, just off rip. As the wave comes in, like I said, my rules are I want to be keeping that small minion advantage, and I just want to be last hitting. A lot of times when people are playing Caitlyn, they make the mistake of auto-shoving, and it's not always bad. Auto-shoving and just keeping them under tower is good if you have a super aggressive versus super passive lane. Like it's, you know, Smolder Sona or something, and their jungler is Mundo, but I think they would be able to contest it under tower a little bit better and kind of fight us back. So I think it's a little bit better to just slow push most of the time, even on Caitlyn. Do you guys know the 3 conditions where you actually two shove in a lane? I'll let you guys think about that for a second if you want to pause. The 3 conditions I use, right? Rules, I guess I should say. If I'm trying to invade, so like if I'm building up a slow push and I can get a big crash, Ezreal has to farm or he loses a bunch, then I can invade with my Talon. We can dive, we can set up a dive, right? Either just me and Neeko or with my jungler and mid laner, or I'm going for an objective. Other than that, I'm pretty much never shoving unless it's like, you know, 10 to 15 minutes into the game, I have items and I have an advantage, and, you know, naturally Caitlyn, if she is allowed to get that advantage, she's just going to push them out of lane and take plates and take the tower eventually anyways. So as getting into it, Nami walking up, I'm walking back, Neeko gets a nice little Q, I take no damage, I'm full HP, like, again, following the rules. She doesn't have bubble, but I do want to space her because trading, like I said, is pretty bad in this lane because they do have sustain. And I'm always trading if I have a purpose, right? So if I'm getting ganked by my Talon, then I could trade with him because our HPs being equal is pretty worth it for us. So that's pretty much the only condition I'm trading, or if we're trying to set up a dive, right? So we equalize. We're pretty happy. I walk up because Nami is behind Ezreal, so I get a nice little headshot. Nami really doesn't like my Nico, so she walks up. I could have gotten an extra auto off there on her. And right there, we were behind in EXP. But I will say, in some instances like that, where we did have... where they did get level 2 first, it doesn't really matter, and I would qualify that as fake, just because we have such an HP advantage right now. And once I clear these 2 minions, I'm going to have level 2 anyways, right? So I could actually ignore these minions and just start auto-attacking the Ezreal, especially because I have lethal tempo in this lane. Because lethal tempo allows you to all-in, right? I ping to go in because we get level 2. I should have been a little bit closer. If I was like right here, I'd be able to trap. Something with Caitlyn traps is something you're always trying to think about, is how long someone's CC is. So like with Nico, just eating a target without hitting any minions or anything first isn't long enough for you to trap most of the time, and for them to get rooted off that. So Nico getting a couple of minions first, which I think she did here, kind of guarantees the root. I think it's over like, if it's like 1 to 1.5 seconds. There's a couple of champions that do that, where they have conditional like longer root timers, and that's something you always got to think about. Like Blitzcrank E is also another one that kind of sucks, because he displaces them and it's kind of random, so you want to always be Wing on his hook and kind of predicting that. So now we're just slow pushing. There's no threat to, or there's no reason to hard push or to shove, so we're just slow pushing, and we're setting up that big crash. And as you see, Talon's in the enemy jungle. Now, if Talon was in his bot side and he wanted to invade and meet Mundo there, then it would be a good idea for us to crash when Talon is going into the jungle. And the reason for that is because if we can get Nico in the jungle by the time Mundo is in the jungle, then that means we're just going to get all of his camps. But because Talon got there earlier, he did a really weird pathing this game, which was his Raptors into his jungle. So we didn't really have pressure to kind of walk over. And even if he did, I guess we could have, but he wasn't fighting Mundo anyway, so it didn't really matter. But like I said, in the condition where he was taking his blue side into the enemy red side, then you do want to be crashing at the same time he's invading, or he's trying to make a play or something. Back pinging Nico here because she's hitting the wave a couple times. I will say, if the wave was stalled for a few more seconds, then the wave would have gotten right here, and we would have gotten an even better crash. Unfortunately, for us, that kind of screwed over the wave a little bit. Talon's running out. And kind of, their Mundo is lost right now. And I'm just trying to get this wave in, because it kind of, us shoving or hitting those last 2 minions kind of screwed us over. And now, like I said, Mundo's lost, so he doesn't really know what he's doing, because Talon's about to clear his entire top side and bot side, and he doesn't know what he's doing. So the reason I flashed there is because of 2 things. One, because it's Ezreal, Nami, and Mundo, and my flash isn't really that valuable because I won't really be in a position to die to them a lot. And also, if I flash and I preserve my HP, making the conscious decision to flash, I can stay in lane and I can pressure them and keep them under tower, and I will force them to recall on my conditions, and I won't have to recall. So hear my voice again, disgusting. So I just get a little word off to make sure that Mundo doesn't pull a fast one on me. And now we have lane control again, and we are pretty happy. Get a nice little Q off. Right here, as you see, I break the rule because I think I can kill the Nami, so that's why I walked up after, even in bubble range. But we didn't kill the Nami, and I lost my entire health bar, so that's a little example of why breaking the rule can sometimes go bad. But keeping under tower, pressuring him. Nami is 1 hit. Now this is a cannon wave. What I would like to do personally is, I don't know why Ezreal is here. Makes no sense. I would like to drag this wave because Nami can interfere. Drag this wave down here. And then let it slow push back to me. And then reset while it's slow pushing because he'll lose more minions and I'll have a big wave while I'm coming back. And it also sets up a gank if Talon were to come down. But instead, Ezreal really likes the color gray, so he ease in. He doesn't die somehow. And because I already soften up the wave a bunch, it's better to just shove this and get us on their tower and make him lose a little bit. And the reason it's generally not good to shove cannon waves when the enemy is resetting is because since it's way easier to get back to lane now, by the time they get back, they lose like maybe one melee minion and they're still getting back on time for cannon anyways. So dragging the wave and letting it slow push is usually the best way of letting them of making them lose more minions if it's a cannon wave. If it was a non-cannon wave, it would be good because we get the wave to the tower quicker and they'll die under tower very quick. I get this off, I get a nice little pickaxe. General rule of thumb when your support's roaming, you want to lose as little HP as possible, obviously, because you want to be set up to get prio again. So my goal is just to farm some minions and wait for Nico to get back. Not a whole lot happens here, so I'm just waiting for Nico to back, kind of staying out of range. Nico gets back, so now I am trying to slow push again and retake control. Wave is in a pretty decent spot. I don't have any eyes on Mundo, but I'm just slow pushing. I'm keeping a little minion advantage. You'll see it equalizes in a minute. Nami walks up. I walk back. I thought Nico was going to get a Q out, so that's why I autoed her. And also I had a shot. And I just want to slow push. And that's pretty much the rest of this sequence. And honestly, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do each wave. So like, once the next wave comes in, I'm thinking, do I want to slow push or shove? And most of the time, it's pretty much slow push. And like I said before, if I have a reason to slow push or shove, then I'll make that decision. But if not, then it's pretty much just slow push. And because of that, I get a nice little crash with a bunch of minions. And now Ezreal is pressured. It's okay to trade a little bit now. Granted, I'm a dog and I missed the EQ. Don't do as I did. But it's okay to trade now. And the reason for that is because I have Talon. And you can't really see because my mouse keeps getting in the way. But Talon is trying to gank. So it's okay to trade HP a little bit. Because now he is just dead. This lane is pretty much over. And the reason that worked is because we got that big slow push. We traded with them under tower. We chunked them while he was trying to farm that big wave. And we got set up. Granted, your jungler isn't always going to do that. But putting your jungler or putting your wave in the best situation possible at all times is going to create that consistency. I will say when Nico comes back, I do make a mistake here. And I shove. If I saw Mundo, there's a decent argument for shoving because I am up some items and I can take plates in their face. I make that conscious decision. But I have eyes on Mundo. I get the shove and I could kind of just give him a wave for free. Now we have Talon coming in. It's always nice when your jungler plays for the Caitlyn ADC. And now Nico gets a nice little stun. Nami is seeing gray for the next 17 seconds. And now it is just over. We get tower. The game plan on Caitlyn most of the time is just getting plates, right? And getting those small minion advantages that lead to the towers and the CS leads. So we walk out of this lane, we get tower, and we're now mid lane. 0 deaths, 0 kills, and 2 assists, and we are over 10 CS a minute. And we're about to get item, and we're set up for the rest of the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, as an AD carry, you want to create these rules because that, in my opinion, will get you the most consistent results in solo queue. And as you make more rules game to game, you'll realize that you'll start to have internal caveats for when to break the rules and when to add more. for more and more specific situations, but having general concepts and rules for yourself is going to make it is going to streamline the process. But we are done. If you made it this far, I appreciate you, and I would also appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and let me know what you want to see if you liked it. Caitlyn matchups, more different AD carries, different stages of the game, etc., etc. I'm live on Twitch every weekday at 6:30 p.m. EST at TTV Honks lol, and I'm a Florida man, so like I said, I'm EST. But for now, I am out of here. I appreciate it. Take it easy.